Hey, what's up y'all? Talentscowt coming at you with another video. I am your host, Terrence, part-time internet guy Godfrey. So we're doing another investment video today, but not my typical investment content. So no stocks, no crypto, no tech. Today we're gonna be focused on investing in experiences that you enjoy so you can prevent burnout and just keep your mind sharp. Because as we know, going into month 9 of pandemic, so a little bit of perspective. I've been on super quarantine mode ever since March. I have not done much outside of the 4 rooms of my bedroom, besides visiting my parents and younger siblings who live about an hour away. I have done, I think, 2? Just 2 things since quarantine started. So the first one was in September. I went to Apple Hill, obviously masked up. But as you can see, September, that was already really late into the year, starting to get to my psyche. So this video is gonna be focused on an adventure that I had a couple days ago on November 28th, right after Thanksgiving. I went crab fishing for the first time. So actually out like 20 miles out in the ocean and got like a bunch of Dungeness crabs. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. But before we get there, I got a couple of channel updates. Update 1, as you can see, I have a new angle in my bedroom. So my previous videos, this grass wall, which was directly behind me, is now to the left of me. And yeah, you can see a TV right there. So yeah, tell me what you think about this new angle. And here's the reason why I changed it. Reason 1, whenever I wanted to film a video, I would put my camera right here, I put my ring light right there, and I put my softbox right there. So it took a lot of setup to get the lighting just right whenever I wanted to record some content. And since, like I've said a couple times, I'm in a bedroom, I can't just leave all that stuff up just on the floor because I eventually want to go to the bathroom. Like I want to leave at some point. So just having all that set up really slowed me down from making videos, or deterred me, if you will, or at least that's the excuse I've been giving myself. So what I've done is I moved my desk into this corner, the little grass wall. My softbox is up there and my camera's right there. So now I don't have to do any setup. So now I don't have that excuse of, I don't really feel like setting up and taking down the stuff. Now I can just film whenever I want to. So the goal of 2021 is to upload at least 3 times a month. So yeah, more content, let's get it. And as we know, the YouTube algorithm likes consistent uploads. The whole 1 video every 2 months or so doesn't really help for growing a channel. But shout out to all 264 of y'all. Y'all are the greatest. Love every single one of you. But yeah. So that's the first thing. And update number 2, this is gonna be the first video on this channel that wasn't edited directly by me. In the first thumbnail that you clicked, that wasn't made by me. So there's that. I'm not the greatest video editor on the planet, as y'all know, and it takes me a very long time to edit a video. And if it doesn't take me a long time, I could potentially record and push out a video within like 8 hours, but it's like 8 really intense hours, and then it's like I feel sick after, and then it makes me not to want to film another video. Like you kind of see like the loop going on here. So yeah, getting an editor, more content, and let's see. Yeah, and tell me in the comments below, do you like the editor's work? Should I try someone else? I'm gonna be trying out a couple different editors till I find someone that is really good and also within my budget of a 0 revenue generating YouTube channel. Yeah, by the way, please be sure to like and subscribe. Let's get some engagement up so I can get some subscribers. We need some YouTube ads on here. On to the adventure. 3 a.m. November 28th, 2020. 2 days after Thanksgiving in a small town south of Stockton, California. So my dad picked up this new hobby since he's been retired for the last 1.5 years. He does ocean water fishing every so often, and it's crab season, so he invited me to go crab fishing with him. So I was like, yeah, never done that before. So obviously, that's what we're doing. Didn't realize I'd have to get up at 3 a.m. He kind of told me after I'd already booked my spot. Anyway, we got up at 3 a.m., got all of our gear on, had a quick light breakfast. I went super light because I am my mother's son, so I can't have a lot of food on a boat, or I will throw up, and I don't like throwing up or even thinking about throwing up, because thinking about throwing up makes me need to throw up. But yeah, so super light breakfast, and we were in the car by 4 a.m. 4 a.m., drove to the San Francisco Bay Area to a town called Emeryville. It's a little bit north of Oakland, right before you get to Berkeley. It's like, right in the little area. Went to the Emeryville Marina. We arrived there by around 5:10. It was really cool because check this little footage out. It's like super dark, seeing all these boats, just, I don't know. I don't even know how I would describe it, but it was just a whole vibe. Like, look at this little clip of my dad walking through. Like, I had to get a quick shot of that. So we loaded up onto the boat called the Pacific Pearl. That's my dad's favorite. He kind of knows the crew or the deckhands on this one since he's been on this before. He went salmon fishing a couple months ago with them as well. So we load up, and it was really interesting as you hop on the boat, then you start going, and then something about just being on the water that early in the morning was really, really cool. So first, check this out. So check out this little clip of Alcatraz. I've never been to Alcatraz before. Like, I've never been over there. So this was like my experience of going to Alcatraz for the first time. So I'd never been so close to it, and just seeing it in the dark. And then I just started thinking about like, oh man, I really understand why that was the prison for like the most dangerous people for the longest time. It's like, because it was some really choppy water, and it's like there are a lot of sharks. So I was like, it makes perfect sense. Then obviously, my mind wandered, and I was like, I bet I could swim. Then I started thinking about those sharks again. Like, no, I couldn't. But then go a little bit further, and we see the Golden Gate Bridge. And as I'm a Bay Area guy, I've seen the Golden Gate Bridge, I don't know how many times, but something about seeing the Golden Gate Bridge from underneath, like on a boat at sunrise, is just a sight to see. It was amazing. Like, it was such an amazing, it's just, as you can see with all my stuttering, I don't have words to describe how it felt. And we just kept going further and then further out into the water, just a straight line. We were so far out there, we could no longer see the shore. Like, I'd never been on a cruise before, so this was by far the furthest I'd ever been out to sea. We were at least like 20 miles out. You cannot see the shore at all. Like, there was no sense of direction. For me, the person that's not the ship guy with the coordinates and all that jazz. But yeah, it took us like 2 hours to get to our spot to start picking up all the different traps for the crab. Because the way the crab traps are is like, as you can see right here, it's like these metal traps. They drop them, it goes down to the bottom of the ocean, and they have it all baited. So the crabs, they walk in and they can't walk out, and they're just stuck in there. Then the next day they pull them up. And there were so many. So there's like a limit to the amount of crabs per person, like by the game, like the Wildlife and Game Administration, whatever it's called. But you can have 10 crabs per person. So there were 21 people total on the boat. Don't worry. I stayed masked up. A couple people didn't mask up, but I was double masked. I had my mask and my balaclava, one of those ski masks on top. I was like, I ain't getting sick. Nah, I've already had this once. I'm not doing it again. But so it was just crazy to see how many crabs were in these traps. Cause like we got to 210 crabs so quickly. Like one of the traps, we only could take 3 out, and it was still just teeming full of crabs because, you can't go over the limit per person. So they threw those back. They went back to get them, which would have been the next day, which is yesterday as of time of filming this video. But as you can, I'm telling you, these were some extremely large crabs, and dollar per dollar, this trip was extremely worth it because my dad was telling me that as of that time, since the official crab season hadn't started yet for commercial crab fishing, this was only like the sport fishing season. Dungeness crab were around $10 to $12 a pound in the store right now. And I was like, dang, I didn't realize that crab cost so much. We each got 10. The trip was like $225. So we got our crab. Like I got my 10, my dad got his 10. And then while we're also out there, we were able to do a lot of fishing. Like that was the most fun part of the trip for me, at least. So here's the thing. If you've never been ocean fishing and you've only been freshwater fishing, kind of like my experience up until that point, it is so different. My family lives like 1 block away from a river. So we didn't fish often, but the few times that I have gone, just take like my ugly stick, cast it out there. I mostly fished for catfish because it's good to me. That's like my favorite freshwater fish, but there's always the other stuff you can get too. But you set it out there and you just wait and wait and wait and wait. Ocean fishing is not like that at all. So there are times you could even just throw the hook out there, which is just like a little lure, like a little feather on it. They'll still bite that. They will literally bite it with no food, nothing attracting it or anything. But I saw it several times with my dad. Like he would just throw it out there and I'll just pull something else back in. It took a little while before I caught any fish, but once we hit our third spot, I started catching some. So we had a limit of 10 rockfish per person and 2 of like the lean cod. So I didn't catch any lean cod, but I caught plenty of rockfish. So I'm out there. The bait that I would use was some squid. It's just insane to think about. Okay, so say this. I cast it, literally have fish biting onto it before it's all the way down. So we're fishing like 240 feet water. So, you can just see the slack, just see it falling. When you already feel like that really big tug. And it's like, dang, it's literally hasn't hit the bottom yet. It's been like 20 seconds and there's already like rockfish on it. Like these ocean fish are hungry, bro. They trying to eat. So I'm trying to eat. So yeah, that happened several times. There were so many times too that I would have fish on both hooks at the same time, just pulling them both up. And it's like, dang, okay, let's do it again. Do it again. It was so much fun. Like just like the fishing part alone, even though the fish would not have been worth the money, just like the amount of enjoyment I got of catching all those fish, I would have paid the $200 something the trip cost. And then not to add that I got 10 Dungeness crabs and not like some little ones. Like these were some larger Dungeness crabs like on this trip. Like, yeah, like it was really cool because I made sure I stood in like the right spots. Like I got to pick my crabs almost first. I was like, oh, no, I want that one. I want that one. I want that one. So yeah, we got some really, really nice crabs. But yeah, trip was so cool. And then, so one of my dad's friends brought his son. Kid's like 12 years old. He actually caught the biggest fish of the day. It was like this lean cod, like a good 25 pounder. And it was actually, it was like the first fish he caught because he had 2 fish on the line. He caught one red snapper and he caught one of the lean cod. He was just trying to reel it in for like, I think it was like 7-8 minutes because he was asking his dad for help. Keep in mind, his dad, really big dude, like 6'5", cop, just big dude, right? So he's like, no, you got to do it. No, you can take care of it. So this kid's just over here struggling. He eventually got it up. And yeah, this dude, little dude, just got the biggest catch of the day. And after that, he was knocked. He went over to the inside part of the boat and he just took a nap. He was done. He was done for. I don't know if he took the nap for the whole time. It was like a 6-hour excursion, but I did not see him back outside fishing after that. He was like, okay, I won, I'm out. He might've been playing games because surprisingly, there was still service that far out to sea. Like I got AT&T and I still was able to post onto my IG story and Snapchat, even though for some reason I live in the Bay Area and I can't take a phone call from my bedroom, but get it together, AT&T. But yeah. Oh, another really cool thing about them. So while on this trip, for $1 a fish, they would actually fillet it up for you. And that was like my biggest thing about fishing. Like, I don't know how to fillet. And I'll be honest, I don't really want to learn how to fillet unless I'm going to be extra. I'm going to be right. I don't want to learn how to do it unless it comes for, I should learn, but I just don't want to do it. But yeah, for $1 a fish, they'll just take it up, fillet it for you. And then, yeah, you just take it home, clean it up a little extra, and you just cook right ahead. And let me tell you, bro, eating fish that you just caught this morning, it hits different. It is so fresh, so clean. And I love rockfish anyway, just so light and I guess the only downside is that there's some bones in it, but like at least it's real fish. Because like the fish you buy at the store, they don't have any bones. I'm just like, what is it, bro? Like, is this just a mushroom with like some fish flavor? I don't know. I'm just talking, but hard to tell. So yeah, this experience was amazing. Oh, another thing that was super interesting And I heard this happens to people that are in the Navy all the time. But so while they're filleting up the fish, right? So the parts like the head and the tail that, the people don't really want, just throw it back in the ocean. The shark will eat it, or like the other fish, they'll eat it, whatever. But the seagulls will really eat it. The seagulls be eaten. So it's funny because there were no seagulls in sight. We're so far out at sea, but the moment we started throwing out the fish, hundreds of seagulls just happened to find where the ship is. And apparently it's just how it is on vessels, but I really wish I understood. I'm actually gonna Google this after this video. How do the seagulls know? Like, when they're nowhere to be found, they just know that, like, oh, mine, and they were coming for it. Oh, another little thing. So there were a lot of red snapper that were caught, but I prefer the more like brown, grayish, yellow finned rockfish. I'll have a little clip right here somewhere, but just so you can see it. But the red snapper, most people didn't actually want them, especially like the really little ones, because like that goes into like your 10 fish limit, and there's no size limit on the red snapper. So people would like toss them back. But the sad part about that is, since we're so far up from the water, we couldn't like depressurize the fish. So like they would just float there. The seagulls would just swoop down, grab and go. And it was wild. So many times it happened. Interesting though, I really don't understand why red snapper can't repressurize, because I saw multiple people when they got like too small of another fish, just toss it back, and they had no problem just swimming back down. So I need to do some research on that too. But yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to touch on. It was around a 6-hour journey total, well worth the $230, which included like the 1-day fishing license. I'm definitely gonna be doing this again. I'm on the search right now for some other boats like that cost less, because I don't want to just do $230 like every week. I would never go every week, but I would like to go like every month or so. If I can find a more economical option, I'm definitely gonna start being a fisherman. So yeah, that's the little adventure that I got to experience. It was a great time, would highly recommend. Check out Fishing Emeryville. I'll leave a link to them in the description. This is not a sponsored video at all. I had such a good time, so I like to share this with y'all. Be sure to let them know I sent you though, because maybe they'll give me a coupon code for y'all in the future. Let's get some, I don't know, maybe they'll see some benefit into social media. Hey, we'll just see what happens. But thank you guys for tuning in for this video. I appreciate that. And before you head off, be sure to like and subscribe and leave your thoughts on the quality of this editing of this video. I really want to get this editor situation figured out sooner than later, because I would like to produce more content more regularly. But until next time, y'all take care.